It's Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Aw, shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Hey, everyone. Hey, children, how are you? Welcome. Keep this in. This is me practicing on openings. Hey, everybody, what's going on? See that? That is unconscious. Sup, guys? Hey, it's Yannis. How are you?
What's up, YouTube?
What's up, YouTube? What's going on, YouTube? Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Smash it. Smash it all. What's going on? How you guys doing? You two can do this. I just want you to know you two can do this. And that ain't a lie. That ain't a lie. That really isn't a lie. I mean, I don't know. I think people have gotten pretty good at this, but it is really stripped down entertainment. It's really stripped down. We've gotten rid of the bolts. You get rid of the walls. You get rid of the insulation. You get rid of the plumbing. You get rid of the electricity. You get rid of the painters. I'm using the analogy of an addition on a house because it's on my mind for what comedy used to be. You used to have writers, producers. Those were your painters, your insulation, your plumbers. And now it's just the wood. Now you just got a wood. It's not even put together. It's just wood lying on the ground. It's scrap metal comedy. It is scrap wood. It's just a guy who can only see a couple of inches in front of him. It's like driving with no headlights on a mountain cliff at night. That's what podcasting is. It's driving and you got a broke one headlight late at night. There's no city infrastructure to provide any light even in the distance. You are in UFO abduction territory. Late at night, you hear crickets, and you're driving along, and you're just hoping you can see a little bit of the road in front of you, and that's what this is. I don't know. I can't think past 5 seconds. I can't even think past a second. I'm just talking right now. I don't know where the comedy is past a second. Where's the comedy? I'm just searching for the comedy in the void of darkness. It's not pre-planned. It's not pre-written like Seinfeld was, like Friends, like the new movie Unfrosted. Unfrosted is going to be star-studded. You know when something has so many stars in it, you can't even keep up in the trailer? And that's just the trailer. You're going, wow, that's the trailer. So there's probably about 20 more. I mean, I think I forgot Fred Armisen because it was like, oh. And I want to say I'm excited to see Unfrosted. I think it's good. I've always wondered about the origin story of the Pop-Tart. And Jim Gaffigan's in it. I think his role is going to be great. He's playing like an older white guy who seems like he owns something, which is what his face and body looks like. Old school guys who used to own Yankee Doodle candles, things like that. Just like an old Germanic kind of middle Ohio, kind of looking guy who just owns a big company. So he looks like he owns a cereal company. And he went back to his old hair for the role. He was early to hair tits. Shout out Dan Soder for hair tits.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, he was a bald, like public school teacher looking guy, and then he just put hair, he got hair on. He's got a temper too. He'll punch you in the face, Jim Gaffigan.
I've heard that about him.
Yeah. The great Jim Gaffigan. Yeah, originally, I mean, you're looking at him with hair. I mean, you got to go back to bald Jimmy when he was just bald. There's footage of him at Stand Up New York where he's just full bald, and I think he got an early edition of hair tits. And in this role, he's back to looking baldish. And Bill Burr's in it. I mean, I couldn't even. Amy Schumer bravely is in it because she's off-season size in the movie. She's Zion in the offseason. Zion Williamson in the offseason size. She's her true size in this. She's binge eating size, which I get. She did not slim down for the role, and she's playing a villain. which for her, I think is going to show some acting chops. She's going to have to stretch for that because usually she doesn't play that role. But Amy Schumer's in it, Fred Armisen, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr with hair.
I think, Bill Burr, he plays a Kennedy in there. It's just star-studded. The film looks great. It's Seinfeld's first time directing a movie. Since Seinfeld, he's done a special, I think, or one or two.
Mm-hmm.
He released his old jokes from the 90s.
Well, he had Comedians in Cars.
He's been Comedians in Cars where he sits down, he has coffee with comedians.
You sound super excited about this movie.
I am excited to see. I'm just, it's very, what's funny about it, I mean, it could be hilarious.
You're planning family movie night right now.
Dude, it could be hilarious, but a lot of times these movies where it's just like, let's get every single millionaire comedian in it, let's just get every single one. Like, a lot of times it doesn't go great. A lot of times, you ever notice like those just massive ensembles just never go great. It's a tough sell on the theme. You got to really care about Kellogg's. It's very Jerry though, right? This is Jerry without Larry David. Jerry without Larry David cares about Pop-Tarts. As a 64-year-old old man, he's making a movie about Pop-Tarts. The origin story of Pop-Tarts. But it's an adult movie because it's about the business behind Pop-Tarts. It's a company. By the way, I don't know what kind of bat blood this guy's drinking, but he looks fucking fantastic.
He's 70.
Is he 70 now?
He's 70.
No way Jerry's 70.
He's 70.
No way he's 70. Jerry Seinfeld is 70 years old.
70 years old.
He looks incredible. Dude, he looks better now than he did 5 years ago. So he's 70 and he looks incredible. He's got that young wife that's got a lot to do with it. I think you're just sitting around the Hamptons one day, just like throwing money at your kids. I don't know what you're doing. You're taking $1 million bills and painting. I think you're painting. After you've gone to the mountaintop, here's the thing about the mountaintop. The mountaintop, if you want to get back down to earth, you got to go down. And sometimes you get bored on the mountaintop and you look at Kilimanjaro and you say, I want to climb up there. And what do I need? I don't need a Sherpa. I need a movie about Pop-Tarts. He did the bee voice. He's been around. Jerry's one of the greats, right? I love Jerry. But there is clearly a difference between what his comedy taste is and what Larry's comedy taste is. When you saw Curb Your Enthusiasm, it felt like sort of a continuation of Seinfeld without the characters, just all Larry. And then you kind of realize like the whole Seinfeld motif was very much Larry's comedy, right? It was like Larry's kind of the way Larry saw the world. I think Jerry sees the world in a very like OCD, anal kind of way. And he picks apart things, and it's very funny, it's very minutia. But he's got a great sense of humor. He's great at what he did. So he picked Pop-Tarts. It's very, it's an interesting thing because it's like a historical piece. It's a comedy. It looks a little bit like an adventure. And what's funny to me is just the backdrop in the world of the movie Pop-Tarts coming out. Now, you think this is just going to get lost in the void of Netflix?
Yeah.
You don't think people are going to tune in? They're not excited?
Are you excited?
I'm too honest. I'm not excited.
You're not excited?
I'm curious. I'm curious because I'm in the business. Kind of. Not really.
Yeah, you didn't get your cameo call for this?
Yeah. I wouldn't be excited for a Is that more the time? I think it's the time. I'm more excited to come create comedy like here, just like free, than I would be. Because now that you have the option for this, you just think of the fucking hassle of sitting in a thing, putting on makeup. Who gives a fuck? Who really gives a fuck? I mean, that's just me though. Like, right. I don't know. I think I'm a decent actor when I do it, but I don't enjoy it. I wouldn't say I enjoy it unless it happens quick. Unless we're doing something fun and it's quick.
You don't like makeup.
I don't want to do the makeup. No. When I used to do TV, I used to hide from the makeup girl.
You hate rehearsal.
I hate rehearsal. I hate all that shit. I hate hitting your mark.
You just want to wing it.
I want to play with my friends. I want to wing it. I want to play with my friends. Even when there's lines, it's like, let us just play with it. I mean, comedy's timing. I think that's in a lot of ways why Judd Apatow was so successful, because he just let them talk. And he had Steve Carell and Will Ferrell, and they just like fucking had a script. I think that's also what Larry did. I mean, you could see even the great comedy that kind of seems to have ended a little bit. It was really Judd Apatow and Larry on TV with Curb and that Judd Apatow run of amazing movies. And that was kind of the style.
You know, it was before them, the Farrelly brothers. Those guys were on an epic run.
They were in an epic run. How did they do it? Did people have to hit their lines like a Woody Allen movie?
I think they were a little bit more scripted.
Yeah, even Woody Allen let the actors play a little bit.
Well, you could always tell in those comedy movies, like a Judd Apatow movie or even Curb, the way they shoot it wide. It's always in like a 2 scene. So you can just allow for that improv, or you crush shoot it. So you have cameras on either side.
That's the best way to do comedy. Just let the funny people play.
Right.
Give them the script. If there's some lines that you think are really funny, we used to kind of shoot like that a little bit too. Like, I want this line, but like have fun with it. It's a comedy. Like, you can't really stick to a script with a comedy. You know, it's not like a Daniel Day-Lewis movie. What's funny to me though is I think you have to be Jerry Seinfeld to be able to get to make this movie. I don't think anyone else could walk in and people would say, you know what? I think there's a public clamoring. I think right here, I think the people I think that they're ready for this. I think they're ready for the Pop-Tart origin story. They're ready for a cereal war story. You know, it's a real, you gotta have the muscle of Jerry Seinfeld to walk in and go, I want to make this fucking movie.
You gotta have some juice.
Yeah, like you can't make this movie. In some ways, you almost say, is the star power in the movie sort of a way to sell it? Because the idea is like, I don't think it was done purposefully, but I'm sure producers encouraged it. They said, you know what? We want to get as many cameos. We want as many people posting on their Twitter and their Instagrams as possible that they have roles in this movie to sort of maybe boost a little interest in what otherwise would be. I mean, is it a great story behind it? Because the McDonald's origin story was a great story. So maybe it's a great story like that. So maybe it will hit. Would you have thought that The Founder would have hit?
No, but that was treated a little differently, wasn't it?
It wasn't a comedy.
It wasn't a farce.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of farcical, but it wasn't. This is just meant to be a comedy.
This is meant to be a comedy about Pop-Tarts, which is fucking Jim Gaffigan's goddamn dream. I know what he came up. I wonder if it was a convo, because I think Gaffigan and Seinfeld were on tour together for a little while. They were doing arenas together. Does comedy work in an arena?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You ever tried it?
Well, as Tim Dillon would say, here's the good news. I don't think you got to worry about whether it works or not. It's one of my favorite things that a friend of mine has said. Let me go down the list. Hair tits is up there. Dan Soder has come up with hair tits and face nut for crying. He calls it busting a face nut.
Those are two good ones.
Those are two good Dan Soders. And then he's got probably a few more. But then Tim's But Here's the Good News is one of my favorite. When someone's complaining about, like, man, I just don't like LA. You know, there's something about it. Well, here's the good news. They're not asking you to like it. They're not asking for you to choose between it or New York.
Well, you used to complain, like, I don't know if I want to move.
He says it to everybody, but he's done it to me a few times, and it's very, very funny.
You'd ask his advice.
I've heard him say it about it. Oh, yeah, it's just one of the things he does. He goes, well, here's the good news. He also has the thing, I wish them well, which is sort of like a very passive fuck you, which is great. I wish them well, you know? But it's not as good as Here's the Good News.
That's the best.
Here's the Good News by Tim Dillon is one of the funniest things.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, well, here's the good. You can play, well, here's the good news. Yeah, you'll be going like, yeah, I don't know, like remember I said it to you, where you like, that's just, well, it's not for me. That whole thing of, money, I don't care about it. And then he would go, well, here's the good news. So it's funny. So yeah, so here's the good news. I don't have to worry about not getting excited to be asked about to be in a cameo. But generally in my gut, I don't get excited for anything that's like takes your whole day when you're you're sitting all day.
Right.
And then you film like that. That part seems, I think now because there's an option to be funner and freer and quicker. But before, these were like dreams of like, oh, I want to do that,
But what if Netflix was like, hey, what do you got for movies?
Yeah, then that's fun because you get to control it a little bit, have some
any
fun.
ideas? You want to do, what do you got?
That would be fun. I mean, I think they're going to make a comeback because people are just going to get sick of this shit. So
yeah, there's a vibe shift happening.
Yeah, there'll be a vibe shift. But getting to my point about why I think this is funny is it just encapsulates the duality of the times right now. It's like I don't want to call it tone deaf. I don't want to call it disconnected, but it's funny. It's like the 50s. Like it takes place in the 60s, but the theme is very 50s, right? It's like just sort of this innocuous kind of Pop-Tarts war or whatever, cereal war. And against the backdrop of like the specter of World War III, which has never been realer. Which has never, ever, ever been realer. And just students storming, taking over buildings, and riots in the streets, and fucking accusations of genocide, and some babies under rubble for sure. People being raped at a festival. And then there's just like, guys, let's all go to the ice cream parlor together, get some jelly beans. It's Norman Rockwell, baby. This is an attempt to just pull, and that's why I like it. It's like, hey, guys, it's time to get every single fucking powerhouse comedian who makes millions and millions and millions of dollars. I'm sure you can still be funny after you make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. I just haven't seen a lot of evidence for it. I haven't seen a lot of evidence for it. I haven't seen somebody who has like stayed like very funny after they've become fucking. Now when I see Kevin Hart, I want to throw something at the television. When I'm watching the fucking playoffs and he does that little dance, I want to kick my 72 inches right off this fucking wall. I've had enough of Kevin Hart. Has Kevin Hart had enough of Kevin Hart?
He might.
Can you fucking say no to something? You're making Cat Williams look so fucking good right now, especially when you're out there doing this shit. It's like, do you have to take every fucking check? How many fucking arenas do you got to sell out? How many fucking movies with The Rock do you have to do? Does anyone have a friend who tells these people maybe take a fucking break so you can have some longevity? Nobody does that. Nobody. Burr does that, I think, very well. Used to. Now I think it's just, hey, let's go full Hollywood. And I get it. But with his stand-up, he does that very well, I think. I think he does it, and then you like don't hear from him, and then he does his thing.
It seems like he takes that serious.
You gotta, because it's like, think of all the great bands, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't keep fucking hearing from them over and over and over again until you get sick. It's like they go away for a little while, and then they come back, and then because when you go away for a little while and they come back, you're like a little excited to hear. You're like, oh yeah, fucking. You don't get sick of them. Familiarity breeds contempt.
Yep.
And right now, it's Kevin Hart. I'm a little Kevin Harted out, dude. Especially if you're a basketball fan. Like, they just toss him on. I mean, and they keep doing that commercial over and over again when he's dancing. And you just go, enough. And, it's like this feigned enthusiasm. At this point, you're going like, you can't be feeling that way all the time. Like, it just... I think the best thing Kevin Hart could do for his career is do like a Darren Aronofsky movie. Take a turn.
Ooh.
Yeah, something dark.
Dark, yeah.
Dark and heady and, artsy.
Something with a double-headed dildo.
Yeah, double-headed dildo like Requiem for a Dream. A serious role. I want to see Kevin Hart in a serious role. I'm sick of that kind of campy persona.
Pull a Will Smith.
Yeah, I want to see, the Will Smith when he did... that movie with Stockard Channing, just a little art he did. That's where it started. And it was a very good movie. It was 6 Degrees of Separation with Donald Sutherland and Stockard Channing. And it was like, wow, this guy can act. I want to see Kevin Hart play, let's take him back, man. Antebellum South. Let's go for a fucking Oscar, dude. Let's go for a Denzel Oscar, let's do something like that, where Denzel got his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in...
Was it Glory?
Glory with Matthew Broderick, which is a great movie. I want to see some serious. I don't want to see him dancing anymore. I don't want to see him in commercials anymore. I don't want to see him in commercials anymore. I've had enough. He's in so many fucking commercials and so many godforsaken shit movies. I don't want to see him in any more comedy action movies. There's got to be, at some point, you got to say to the fucking agents, like, you know, let me take a break, dude. Let me take a break. I know I'm a small package and I got a lot of energy, but you're like wearing your welcome out a little bit. You got to take a break. But this Pop-Tarts movie may be fucking the comedy classic we've been waiting for. It's called Unfrosted. And it could be that unexpected hit that we don't expect. You know, with the star power in it. We don't know. When's the last time there was like a great comedy movie?
I'm just reading about Kevin Hart's new movie.
What is it? Is he got a gun in his hand? Is he fucking rolling around?
It's called Lift.
And what's going on? He's on a train and the train goes off the track. What is he? He's in a helicopter and it's an action comedy and he gets to fucking look jacked and taller than he is. I love Kevin Hart, but I've had enough. I want a break. I want him to go back to stand-up. I'm just kidding. Hire me for something. He's just so massive.
Huge.
He's so massive. It's tough for comedians to be massive. It's just tough.
Where were you at? What was the last funny movie?
Yeah, what was the last funny movie? Okay, because it's almost become like the Great White Hope. We're looking for one to be
like
the great
good comedy. Yeah.
Good comedy. I liked Bill Burr's movie.
You
a
did?
lot of people, yeah. Oh wow, that you did was a little. You were like, you did. I thought it was good, but I don't know if I'm biased because I wanted to like it.
And you wanted to be in it.
I love Burr. I'll do anything he asks, except go to dinner with him for 3 hours.
Burzy got a nice role in it.
He had a nice role. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I watched it, enjoyed it.
My only issue with that was that the ending got a little messagey, you know. It was like it turned.
Oh, there was a message there?
Yeah, it was like, oh, your wife's always right. You got to run home, you know, do the right thing, be a family man, you know. I got a little.
Well, it's a movie. I wish he was here to yell at us about that. Well, what do you want it to be? It's a fucking movie, you know?
Yeah. Comedy with messages doesn't really
I just
work.
want to wear librarian glasses for the rest of my life. This is just the way librarians used to do it. I don't care, do I? I mean, look at my hair. I just don't care. I roll around the streets like I don't care. My ass is not 100% clean.
Oof.
Yeah. I was boxing today and I smelt my own ass. I don't like when that happens. Me and Sergio don't say anything, but I know he smells it.
You don't shower for Sergio?
I usually don't come in, you know, especially because I got these bidets, but sometimes you just can't get it all.
Even with the bidet?
Sometimes the bidets are just, sometimes you're supposed to stay there for a minute or two to really, you got to give it a good power washing. Sometimes the smashed bean needs a power wash and you give it just like a little sprinkle when it needed a power wash.
Can you get the water?
Some shits require a bidet power wash.
Depends on what you had for dinner the night before.
It depends on what the shit does.
Yeah.
Depends on the level of fire. For a while, I was just shitting so great, and now I'm back to it's a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a little sloppy paint job.
You were bragging about your duties
My
for a while.
shits were great. I don't know what it is. It seems like after I got that cold, I don't know if it's like when I get a cold or bacteria or I don't know, or if it's
plus you got a lot of anxiety going on. You're redecorating your house. You're doing
maybe it's that. I don't know. I just want to shit normal, man. It's just such a better world when you shit normal. When they just come out like that, a stress-free wipe, and you're just like the way animals do it, just like it's clean.
Yeah,
and they can just walk around, and like imagine animals had this shit like because they don't eat the shit we eat. You know, I guess they eat kibble or whatever, but they don't eat fried chicken and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm curious. I'd say I'm curious. To answer your question, am I excited was your question? I'm not excited. I think there's maybe a lot of people who are excited though, right? Do you think there is some excitement? Why are you nodding your head no? This is an honest podcast. I'm going to say you're saying no. You just feel like it's not going to rile up the masses.
I don't really know who the audience is.
Do you
for that
think
movie.
it's because everyone's worried if they're going to be able to get home, or is it going to be blocked by a Palestine protest? It is funny against that backdrop, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes it funny.
I mean, I'm all for escapism. I like escapism.
I like escapism too.
Yeah.
I do. This is escapism.
very, very escapist.
Now, here's the thing. It does look like it has a couple of David stars. Now, are there gonna be protests because of that? That would make it interesting. That would drive some attention to the movie. I think Jerry did a promo where he took a swipe at Friends. He said that they steal his stuff.
Yes,
that was
I did see that. Yeah.
He also made another controversial statement about how radical leftists have ruined comedy.
I'm gonna have to disagree with him there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good comedies. Rick and Morty, South Park still does it.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
There's a lot of politically
They're very
incorrect
edgy.
stuff.
South Park.
Yeah,
Did you say South Park?
Yeah, I think he's kind of right. I think it's kind of ruined the movies and some shows. I think for sure mainstream, but I think bigger than that. And I think this is what he's missing. And I think in a little bit this kind of shows his age a little bit, as well as going to his Wikipedia. That also shows his age. But I think what he's missing is the paradigm shift that happened because of the internet. That it's hard for them to compete with the speed and the volume and the access of the internet and the amount of people and the shorter attention spans. And I think that has killed comedy more than anything.
Plus his old writing partner, Larry David. I mean, Curb is edgy.
Curb's edgy too. So that's another good example. So I don't necessarily buy that you can't do edgy comedy anymore. I don't buy it. But yeah, I mean, it did get woke. I mean, Hollywood did go woke.
100%.
But I think, and I made that argument a long time ago, and Rogan retweeted it, and I think that's why he had me on the show for the first time. He really liked that. I said, my theory was they were doing that in order to, because they couldn't compete with the internet, that early stage, they knew it, the numbers started to drop. So it was like a tool to try to guilt you into watching so they can get some numbers. They were like, we don't have the monopoly on eyeballs anymore. So what we can do is be the righteous one. So, and it was like an attack. You ever notice like everyone on the internet was like automatically a Nazi or like automatically a conservative comedian or automatically no good if they started getting popular online or whatever.
Right.
A lot of them turned out to be, but closer to that than too close for comfort. But I think a part of it was economic, because everything is economic. So it's sort of like if we can sell people on the righteousness and the purity and the goodness of us, we can guilt them into watching this garbage that can't be as good as the internet because it's like it's bigly censored, to borrow a Trump word. It's bigly censored. It's corporate sponsored. It's not as free and fun.
It's also super contrived. Like
Super
two
contrived.
people that would never hang out together are like best friends. You know?
Right. And the internet kind of is more of an organic, genuine connection, and comedians were like being themselves on podcasts and in short form video and clips and sketches. And they were the speed of it. They were turning it over and it was funny. A lot of it was funny. And so SNL's like got to take a week to come up with these sketches, and people are just there's sketches coming from all over the world. People with cameras everywhere. So I think that had more to do with it than anything, hurting comedy. But comedy's not hurting.
Dude, look, here's some recent comedies. It's slim pickings.
Okay, they called Barbie a comedy. That's not really a comedy, right? It's more of a spectacle.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that
That's
a comedy.
more of a spectacle. Then you got, did they call this a comedy?
Poor Things.
Yeah, is Poor Things a comedy?
They're calling it
Remember
a comedy.
when Martian won Best Comedy or something?
Martian.
Yeah, with they called that a comedy with Matt Damon. It was ridiculous.
When he went to Mars?
Yeah, they called that a comedy,
oh,
yeah.
Boy.
Drugstore June, which All Things Comedy made, which the network we're on, so we're going to say that was the best movie.
Amazing. One of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's so. I'll tell you how amazing it was when I watch it. Dream Scenario, never heard of it. Snack Shack, never heard of it. I've never heard of any of these movies. American Fiction, never heard of it. I don't know. Anyone But You. No Hard Feelings. I haven't seen any of these comedies.
None of these.
I don't know.
The family plan.
Yeah. But so I partially agree with Jerry. I think wokeness has hurt comedy a little bit in Hollywood as far as productions. But I think the reason is not because of crazy leftists. I think the reason is it was a way to try to compete with the internet. It was a conscious way to go, let's guilt these people into watching. You know, we're righteous, we're diverse, we're helping, we're perfect, we're for causes, we're this. And it's like, if you watch that, you're bad. It was just a desperate attempt to get people to stop, just like wanted them to tune in still. And they just weren't tuning in, you know, and I think the numbers backed it up. I don't think it was wokeness that turned. There's enough woke people to get those numbers up. Those numbers aren't there. You know, the numbers just aren't there on television anymore and in the movies. And so it's tough. So I think that's what's hurt a little bit, it more than anything. But I think it was great that Jerry made that comment because he got some buzz going for his movie. Mm-hmm. You know, people had talked, that moment went viral. Yeah. And it's like, Jerry's knocking. They wanted me to come on Fox. I just keep saying no. Jack may be watching this. If they send a truck to my house like they did that one time, I'll do it every time. But I just don't want to drive in. I don't know.
Wait, what's this? What invite
to
you
do Jesse Waters on Fox?
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching, just send the truck to my house. He might be watching. A lot of these producers are comedy fans.
Dude, your mother-in-law will be smitten.
But I already got that love because I've been on.
Oh, okay.
I've been on a few times and I impressed my Long Island family. So now it's just like, I don't know. Do I want to drive all the way in on a Monday night for a 3-minute segment? That's kind of like, that just lets you know I'm genuine because I don't want to do it. And it's not because I don't want to sit down with him. I'm fine to do that. It's just I don't want to drive in and do it. I don't even want to sit in a car because they send a car when they send one back, but I don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
For 3 minutes, I don't want to do it. Even though it's like a lot of people watch, I just don't want to do it. It's just not that fun.
And if you do that, then definitely say goodbye to Netflix.
I don't even know if that's the case anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
They don't think like that anymore?
No, I don't think Netflix is. I mean, what am I going to say that Dave Chappelle didn't on his Netflix specials?
I thought it was divided into teams.
Or the clone that's impersonating Dave Chappelle.
You're either Team Netflix or you're Team Fox.
Netflix is, I think Netflix made a stand against that shit.
Yeah.
Netflix, remember they were all like boycotting and
for
all
Chappelle,
that shit.
For sure.
They were just like, you can leave.
You got to do that at some point.
Yeah, that's what they did. They were like, you could, and then that's what they did. And then, you know, because it just got ridiculous. They were like, all right, you know, part of being an adult is there's going to be some content you don't like and you're going to have to leave. And
did you see what Google did? They tried to start a Gaza protest on a Google campus. They rounded them up. They fired them and they arrested them.
Yeah, they did. Is that what happened?
That's what you got to do, man.
Google, just be careful, Google. You might want to give me a limited ad on my pod. You guys are so virtuous. To piggyback off last episode for a second, I think I re-listened to it and I think I made the point I wanted to make. But here's a perfect example. I have a friend who has a kid, and their daughter, let's just say hypothetically, to protect whatever. I'll just do it hypothetically, but it's the same thing, so you'll understand. Their daughter's a lesbian, but she doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to like be outed about it. She just wants to like keep to herself about it.
How old?
Young teenager, yeah. And her friends got mad at her for that and said she was like co-opting, but without like it was like she wasn't supporting. By like not coming out, you're not supporting it enough. Like you got to make a spectacle of it. You have to.
Silence is violence.
Yeah, silence is violence kind of thing. So they started bullying her for not being like more of an advocate. To the point where this person had to switch schools.
Jesus.
So that is what is leading to the mental health. And I kind of alluded to that. I was trying to think of if I would love to take this example and put it in last episode, but I thought about it after last episode. So I just wanted to say, listen to that point and then put it in last episode because that's where it belongs. That's the point. That's what's going on with the kids. I think I made all those points without giving an example, but that example really drives it home of what's going on.
So what do you think that is?
I think that's to all the points I'm speaking to, like this sort of religious kind of pressure that they put. It's like a religious type of pressure they put on themselves to be like perfect, altruistic, fascist. It's like, it's like, it's like,
it's powerful stuff.
It's faith-based. It's like faith-based. And it's the type of pressure a kid should have.
Yeah, with their developing brains, it's really
the developing brains. It's like really, and it just shows that the more extreme you go, it's like the Pac-Man game. You just come around the other side. Like you can't keep going left without coming out right, and you can't keep going right without coming out left. Because
they preach tolerance, but they're not being tolerant to what she wants to do, which is keep it to herself.
It's the absolute fucking paradox of tolerance in reverse. And they just keep going left and they keep going right, and guess where they meet? Guess where they meet? Hate of the Jews.
Right.
Hate of the Jews. And that's what you're seeing right now is a union happening between a marriage happening between far left extremists and far right extremists, and they've met, and I'm not even joking. They've met at Hate of the Jews.
Meet you on Anti-Semitism Boulevard.
It's happened before, and I'll meet you on Anti-Semitism Boulevard, and that's where they're at. And that's where they're fucking at. Because the left now, you gotta, it's like they're getting that way, and then the right, and I take a peek on X. What I look at on X makes it look like I'm fucking in it, because I poke around to be curious, and it is big now. It's bigger than it's ever been in my lifetime. It's as big as it's ever been. It's as open as it's ever been. It's wild. It's absolutely wild to hear people talk in these conspiratorial, hasty generalizations about just the Jews as this one. There's no variation in them. They're just this one group of plotting fucking war profiteers. It's crazy, and that Hitler, he was just right. I mean, you just hear people saying he's right. And like I said in a previous episode, it bears repeating though, because it's important. Let's just say you are a bigot, right? Like hypothetically, I'm talking to a bigot, and what I would say to them, and they just go like, Hitler was right about the Jews being war profiteers on both sides. A lot of Hitler's speeches, when you listen to them, because they're translated in English now for your convenience, and people are listening to them going, "This is what they didn't want you to hear because he sounds reasonable." It's like, yeah, of course he did. How do you think psychopaths operate? They don't go up there and go, they didn't even tell a lot of the Germans what they were doing with the fucking concentration. It's like, what did he do? It's not what he said. It's what is wrong with people? You think Ted Bundy, like I said, went up and said, I'll call you. He said to his girlfriend, hey, I'm going out tonight. I'm going to fucking rape a couple of college girls, bite their tits off, but I promise you, I will go to your fucking thing. I will go to your thing. I know I will do what I want to do, and I will make time to do what you want to do. That's what compromise is all about. But I got to go rape a couple girls and bite some tits off, but I'll be back. It's not what you say. Of course, what he said sounded good. That's how he got a whole fucking nation. But what did he do? And he didn't just do your dream of rounding up the Jews. I'm talking to the bigot now. I know that's your dream. I know he didn't fulfill just your dream. He murdered everybody, and everyone was subhuman. Go listen to the original accounts of the Nazis talking. They were like, we believed that the Russians were subhuman. We believed that the Slavs were subhuman. There's millions and millions of people that died because of him that had nothing to do with the Jews. All right, he just fucking, and the funny thing is in his speeches, he goes, Germany just wants to be left alone, and we're not going to give in to these Jewish war profiteers. We're not getting dragged into another war. That's some of his speech. It's like, that's the opposite of what you did. Here's my question to the Nazi. What international Jew war profiteer motivated Germany's war? Which one was behind? Which one manipulated Hitler into it? Which one did he not check? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get my point? Am I making it good?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Isn't that funny that he was talking about like Germany just wants to be left alone. We want to be left alone from these Jewish war profiteers, from these other countries that won't take the Jews in, because I did watch the speeches. I went to bed listening to them.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something. The guy can fucking talk. Like most psychopaths and sociopaths, the charisma's off the charts. And that's why he was selected by this other guy. I can't remember his name. He was selected by this one guy early on because he saw that this guy had like star power.
That's what you go to bed to? Hitler speeches?
I went to bed one night listening to one.
It's your bedtime
And
story?
let me tell you something. I slept like an angel.
Did you? Nice and comforting.
Oh, it was beautiful. Because the speeches are actually kind of like,
melodic.
Yeah, the early ones too, especially. They're just, dude, he speaks, and they translate English using his voice. So it's creepy because it's his voice. But he's got a rhythm to it. Like, it's like
nice and relaxed.
It's fucking, he's really, but he was saying all that type of stuff. Like and he was going, the countries want us to take the Jews, but they won't take them. Their borders are closed to take them, but so we have to take them. If they're so great, why don't you take them? He's saying shit like this. It's almost like the Palestinians, almost like kind of, he's saying that. And which is funny because a lot of the people that love him now love the Palestinian side. So he's saying the same thing about the Jews that probably some hard line religious Jews would say about the Palestinians. So you're actually like, the anatomy of what you like about Hitler is the same thing of what you hate about the hardcore, what you would call Zionists. Or what are Zionists? Are they still Zionists? Isn't it done? Isn't it completed? I guess they want a little more. Let's be honest. There's some religious ones that want the whole thing. There's some problems on that side as well. But it's just interesting to me. That's interesting to me that they're rooting for Hitler because Hitler's saying those same things. That's what he was saying. He was saying that, but they talk about these beautiful people and their beautiful culture, but they don't take them. But they expect us to take them. We're supposed to take all of them and have them do this to our economy and bankrupt us and do all this and then do all that. Just leave us alone. We want to be left alone. We don't want to be dragged into any of the wars that are manipulated by Jewish war profiteers. And then the next thing you know, when he is devoid of any Jewish war profiteers, what does he do? He goes on a massive war streak. Just fucking war everywhere. Just fucking war. So what did he do? Was that the Jews behind that? Were the Jews behind that war? Because if the Jews are behind all wars, were they behind that one too? Were they behind that war? Were the Jews the invisible hand behind Hitler and what he did to his people? I mean, you know how many Germans were fucking murdered during that? And towards the end, they turned on him. They're like, oh, this was all bullshit. We're all dead. When he's sitting in a bunker, he's asking like 40 and 50-year-old men to go out there and 12-year-olds. At that point, they were drafted like 11-year-olds. It's probably what the Ukraine is doing now. You know what I mean? Just like whatever bodies are left at that point. And that's why the Ukraine's going to give up, because it's like, what are they going to do? So, I mean, that would just be my question to the Nazis. Like, yeah, what did he do in Greece? How about the Greek villages that he would slaughter? What about that? There was no Jews there, right? So even though you personally, I know you love to hate the Jews. I mean, it's your favorite fucking thing. But and then there was another funny thing where this Palestinian protester went viral because she had a massive, because on X you can just go, you can say it. And they were going, she's an undercover Jew because of the nose. They're like, the nose never lies. They were making memes, putting her face in that old kind of a cartoon, right? Turns out she's Palestinian. She's like a genuine Palestinian woman. But they see, Zionist, Mossad, like infiltrator. Everyone's brain is just completely fucking devoid of nuance and broken right now. Don't get me wrong. From a distance, it's fun to watch a little bit. It's a little fun to watch. But like all things that are fun to watch from a distance, it's scary, right? Like a lot of scary things are fun to watch. I like to watch a true crime doc from the comfort of my couch. Everyone does, right, ladies? We love to, ladies. But that's a distance. But it's also a little scary. It's a little weird. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. This should all be connected to last episode because we're talking about something more important, which is Unfrosted. And I think me bringing it up after what I just talked about is very funny because it's a big problem happening right now. It's a big thing. It's kind of taking over all the news right now. I don't even know what's happening in Michigan. I don't even know what's going on with anything else because it's just students taking over fucking campuses and demanding water and food. So we're on the lookout for Unfrosted. Now let's get to our less important news, which is this fun clip of, I guess, the, I'd like to call her the Amelia Earhart of the pro-Palestine movement on, I think this is Columbia or Harvard's campus, or she would be Joan of Arc, or Elizabeth I, or I don't know if she's the spokesperson for the kids. She's more like Kellyanne Conway for pro-Palestine on this campus. Is this Columbia? Either Columbia or Harvard or whatever. And she's got, I guess, her bodyguard standing behind him who's gay as a $3 bill. He's got a half shirt on. What do they call these things?
I forget. The scarf. Yeah,
the scarf, the Palestinian scarf.
Yeah.
And a half shirt.
He's got a belly shirt.
He's got a belly shirt on with that. That's ironic.
I love it.
It's
so 2024.
It's very 2024 to have a gay pride outfit on underneath your, is it called a keffah or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Underneath your scarf. Because just his kind ain't welcome. They're just not well. I know you hear that a lot from people say, but it's just the truth. It's not something that's allowed in Islam. I've had some journalists, friends who've gone over there, and it's big though. It's big on the down low. It's big. You get into a taxi cab and this guy will start like feeling you out. Because wherever it's repressed,
right,
it's going to be big, right? You just know it. I mean, if you got an adult brain, you just know how it goes. You repress it more. Anyone who's out there railing against the trans or the gays, I just need to I gotta get in that hard drive. I gotta get in that hard drive. There's no yang without a yang, you know? Uh-huh. Like where there's extreme anger somewhere, and like if it was above surface, the anger, if you go to the surface and then you go below, there's shame and sadness. It's just the anger doesn't come out of like, it's just...
And desire.
Like anger about the desire. It's just there's desire. Exactly. There's desire, shame, and sadness. And then on the other side is anger. And that's the anger is it's just, that's how it goes. It's inverted. It's just how it goes. And it'll always go that way. Whenever you hear a Republican guy railing against the gays, you can just fucking follow him to see which hotel he's going to be going to. A lot of times it's a motel.
Catch your truck stop.
Just check the truck stops, check the motels, check the internet history. It's going down because that's just how the world works. That's just how it goes. When someone's secure, they just don't give a shit. The opposite of love is not hate. It's apathy. So if you're a straight guy, you just don't give a shit. You just don't give a shit. If you give a shit, it's because you want it out of your face because you want to taste it. It's like, you get, if you're an alcoholic and someone drinks a beer in front of you, it makes you angry, right? But if you don't have a problem with beers and someone, you get my point. That's actually a perfect analogy. You got a problem with beer. You got a problem with alcohol. And your partner comes home and just cracks a bottle of wine. You're going to go, what the fuck are you doing? Right? But if you don't have that problem, you're going to go, yeah, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood for a wine. It's not a big deal for me. I'm not into wine. I'm just not into wine, but you enjoy the wine. It's fine. But if you really want that wine and you can't have it for whatever reason, you're going to get angry. You're going to get, why are you bringing that fucking big dick wine in here? Why is that erect hot? Why is that fucking throbbing bottle of Merlot in my house? Am I making some sense?
Look at that veiny Chianti.
Yeah, look at that veiny Chianti. I wonder what that would feel like in my man cave. Can I pour that right into my man cave? There's some truth. Unfortunately, there's just truth to what I'm saying. And the data always supports it. It just always comes out. Anyway.
You want to watch this?
Anyway, yeah. So here it is. We're going to play the whole thing because it's worth it.
Why should the university be obligated to provide food to people who've taken over a building?
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
But you mentioned that there's a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in. I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students.
We can show this, right? Because they got to see the guy behind her.
Die of dehydration and starvation or get severely ill, even if they disagree with you. If the answer is no, then you should allow basic. I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on.
This is a Babylon Bee sketch. It really is a Babylon Bee sketch.
Totally.
Especially with the guy in the back.
The guy in the back makes it.
The guy in the back makes it, but also what she's saying makes it too. They're rebelling against the school for aiding, I guess for supporting or whatever, in some tangential way, supporting the genocide. But they want the school to provide the meals to the people who have meal plans. That part is probably part of my favorite thing because I think the meal plan, I don't know if there's any stipulations in the contract that go, hey, we have to be conducting ordinary school business in order to be providing meals. I just don't think when there's a takeover of the campus and the buildings, that they're just going to go make sure that the cafeteria, like make sure these guys can get to the
Yeah.
I just think there may be a little bit of a moratorium on
Sloppy Joes and tater tots.
Yeah, I think they might just be going like, let's just wait and see. Like nobody's going to class. But listen, you guys are you going to let the chefs through if they're Jewish? Right. What if the chef is Jewish?
Oh, dude. What if they just brought a matzo ball soup?
Yeah, I mean, but what if there's someone Jewish on the chef staff?
Yeah, they're not eating that Zionist food.
I know, but look, they're going to yell at me because I know there's a lot of Jews protesting with you. I know, so it's not just about, but there have been some videos of some Jews who weren't allowed through.
Well, it's either you're Zionist or you're not.
Oh,
right?
So you got to be Zionist. So what if it's a Zionist Jew who's on the fucking...
Right.
Then will you starve? Or will you be okay with not not sticking to the meal plan deal that your parents signed up for? You didn't sign up for you're not paying for the meal plan deal. It's funny just to hear because she's trying to be like an adult here. This is the funny thing is she's trying to be like a grown adult spokesperson. There's mics in front of her. This is like when there's a mass shooting somewhere and then the police spokesperson has to get up there. She's like being the spokesperson for a very grown up thing, but she's going, also, we expect to get our meal plans continued. We have a deal here. The university that we're taking over and we're disrupting also has to feed us. They got to feed us. Where are they going to let us starve? And then she says that. So we'll continue.
Ivy League campus, but this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for.
Okay,
like,
pause it.
People please have
humanitarian aid across the street from a Chipotle. She's using the same words for the situation over there, and undoubtedly doing it out of solidarity with her comrades, with her comrades over there. Or whatever they call it. No, they wouldn't be comrades. They'd be whatever. The victims of the genocide. She's doing it to connect with them. But I don't know if it has the same effect. Okay, there's certain people who have no more plumbing or house anymore, and they're dependent on humanitarian aid to come from whoever. America is also providing some of that aid, I believe. They're trying to get some aid there, wherever it's coming from. And I think there's a difference between, I think that's humanitarian aid. I think the Mexican Grubhub delivery guy, I think she's basically asking, are you going to let that guy through? Are you going to let Papa John's through? I mean, you could walk out of the building and go across the street and get a fucking dollar slice. So I don't know if humanitarian aid is the right word in the middle of flourishing Manhattan. I don't know. It just it reeks of hyperbole. Call me crazy. It just reeks of hyperbole to call food and water in the. I'm sure there's sinks in there, so you guys can drink from the sinks, and there might be a couple of fucking snack. Could be a couple of concession. What do they call those? Concession things.
Sure, vending machines.
Yeah, it could be a couple of vending machines. Have some Reese's.
You know what impressed me about these kids?
Yeah.
Is if they stay during the summer break.
That would be impressive.
Right?
Because now they don't have to go to school.
Right. Now they're just not going to class.
Now they're just not going to class. Will they stay during the summer break? That's a good question. That would be the question I would have asked. The reporter's asking about the humanitarian aid that she requested. She requested humanitarian aid. I would have asked about, are you guys willing to stay here past summer break? Some of them may be like, well, actually, we're going to have to because their parents revoked our plane tickets. They're pretty pissed. They want us to continue to get our humanities degrees. Okay, let's see what's going on.
Water.
But they did put themselves in that very deliberately in that situation and in that position. So it seems like you're sort of saying, we want to be revolutionaries. We want to take over this building. Now would you please bring us some food and water?
Nobody's asking them to bring anything. We're asking them to not violently stop us from bringing in.
No, but a second ago you were asking the school to honor the meal plans. I did hear you say that. So you are asking the school to feed those students who have meal plans, which I assume most of you are on meal plans there, right? It's college. So I did hear you say that, bitch. Okay. I even feel bad calling a 19-year-old a bitch. You're 19.
For a commitment from them that they will not stop it. But they haven't stopped it. Wait, well, I don't know to what.
So she says, I want a commitment from them that they're not going to stop it. And then another female reporter, thank God she's female. Another female reporter goes, but they haven't stopped it, right? And she goes, there's a long pause there. There's a long pause because she goes, oh, yeah. Right. Steven? Steven, do you have anything to add? Yes, and I'd also like to say that this is fucking shitty. This is a bad situation. This is a fucking bad situation. Okay, this whole thing is fucking bad. It's a bad situation. Like Gaga said, fucking, we got all our little monsters here, and all our little fucking monsters form one big monster that's gonna force you to fucking stop supporting genocidal Israel. Right, monsters? Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Steven, my first deputy in command of security. My security, and I mean, what's he doing standing back there? He's obviously, she told him, stand here. I don't want an empty frame. I want you back there, and make sure you're wearing your half shirt.
Yeah, wear your belly shirt.
The gayer, the better. And he's got makeup on. He's got eyeliner on, which is great. Okay, let's go.
Belly shirt, Steven.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't feel like we're like older people making fun of young.
No.
I feel like we're people making fun of something that's ridiculous. That's what I kind of feel like.
You don't have a get off my lawn vibe?
I don't feel that way.
No.
I don't feel like an older guy going like, I don't get these kids. I feel like I'm noticing some pretty funny stuff. I feel like you could be at any age and notice some pretty fun. I don't even think you need to be conservative to notice this funny stuff. And I think there's a lot of liberals who are seeing that now. Okay, continue.
Attempted, but we're looking for a commitment.
Okay, so she said, no, they haven't attempted to, but we're looking for a commitment. Why? They haven't stopped it. She's going, I'll tell you why. Because you caught me there, and I'm sticking to it, which I give her credit for. She doubled down. She goes, we're looking for a commitment. No, they haven't stopped it. People are able to get their Grubhub. People have ordered from DoorDash. DoorDash has been here constantly, in and out. And that's just a funny visual to have the door guy go, Jason, okay, hold on. And then they're looking through it. Okay, 2 quesadillas. I wanted a chicken pastor burrito. And there's guac missing here. We did order guac. Comrade, did you order guac with chips? We're sorry. We're missing guac with chips. Sorry, no English. I'm sorry, no English. Guac with chips? Okay, no English. Call the number. Okay, I'll call. Hi, Grubhub. Yeah, I would like to get a refund on an order. Where am I? Okay, I'm in Hamilton Hall on Columbia University's campus. No, there's no room number. It's kind of like the whole hall. Like, yeah, no, it's not my house. We have taken over a building. So it's generally just drop it at the front. We'll figure it out. Just drop it at the front, COVID style. It's a very funny visual to just a Grubhub delivery guy coming up to their building and giving them a pizza.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Interrupts the drum circle.
Yeah. And her last, the guy actually mentions drum. Just play the rest. The end.
That's it. We're at the end.
Oh, because at the end he goes, you hear Grubhub.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You hear someone say Grubhub, but that didn't make it as part of the clip. So there she is. It's gone viral. People are making fun of her because it's very make-funnable. It's a very make-funnable situation that they're asking for a commitment, even though nobody is preventing water or food from coming in. So what she's basically saying is, we're students. We don't have a lot of money. My parents have taken their credit cards off the Grubhub. And so does the school want a humanitarian crisis on its hands? Because we can't order Seamless anymore. So we want them to provide food and water. And they were trying to call them out on there. And she was going like, yeah, for the students that have meal plans, they should continue to honor that. And they're going like, well, I don't know if that was part of the plan for them to continue to allow you to go to the cafeteria as you take a break from illegally occupying a building. I don't know if that was part of the meal plan. I'm sure they didn't have the foresight to put that in the contract. But there is something called extenuating circumstances, right? That's like if I... if I like take over a Haagen-Dazs and I take hostages, I'm like, guys, I want a commitment from you that you're gonna you're gonna buy me food and water. It's like there's no, or even if I don't have hostages, because the hostages throws it off because they probably give the food and water to the hostages, but no hostages because they don't have any hostages. They're just going, we're gonna occupy this Haagen-Dazs and you guys need to send food in here, or else you're gonna have a humanitarian crisis. They're almost strong-arming a humanitarian crisis. They're almost demanding one. They're demanding. They want it to be a humanitarian crisis when it's just not, because they're allowed to order from Seamless. What's up, guys? Very simple. Very simple. Catch me at the Improv in Raleigh, North Carolina, May 17th and 18th, and Harrah's in Atlantic City, June 22nd. Bunch of other dates in the fall are up on my website now. The links will be up soon. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for our weekly bonus episodes. Join, support the show, and enjoy the uncensored, hilarious content. Thank you. Want to give a shout out to our small business shout outs. First of all, I want to just say goodbye to Chris Minetti. He didn't pay for this, so I'm not going to promote his phone number. But he's been a big part of the show, and I assume I must have said something that was probably a little too liberal for his tastes. I think he's gone away before. I think he got mad before. I might have said something that just, Chris Minetti just doesn't like to hear any libtard shit. So he probably got mad, and he just packed up his bags and he left. Either that, or he was shut down. One of the two.
Or his counterfeit credit card got
something happened.
Disabled, yeah.
But we want to say goodbye to our good friend Chris Minetti.
Now, he might be back. We've had this in the past.
Yeah, where he went away and he came back. I really think it might have been something that I said. I'll find out in the chat boards. He'll say it. He'll show up in the chat and be like, Yanni, you know what? You know what it was?
But there's been times with other sponsors where something happens with their credit
card.
You
know what? I deal with your shit. I deal with your shit here and there. But when you cross the line and you fucking made fun of it, fucking Donnie T this way, I just kind of had enough of your fucking cuck mouth. And that's it. And then it'll blow over and he just needs to blow off some steam. He's got to fucking light a couple tiki torches and then he'll be back.
Well, he's welcome anytime.
You're welcome, baby. Everyone's welcome. I don't look into anybody's history where everyone's welcome. Whatever you want to sell, I'll sell it. Whatever it is. BLM, buy, the Nazis can get in. If they got $100.
Yeah,
I'll read their copy. Radical anarchists.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, dude. PLO, BB, anyone. Even, whatever. whatever. Mainstream Hollywood, anybody. Anyone's got a product they're trying to sell, I'm in. I will fucking promote it. Just like exclusiveautoshipping.com. Jared Z still with us, much more loyal than Chris Minetti. Exclusiveautoshipping.com. Exclusiveautoshipping.com. If you bought your car out of state or you're moving and you need to move your car, you hit up exclusiveautoshipping.com. They also have student and military discounts. And so hit them up, exclusiveautoshipping.com. For the free.art, even they're more loyal than Chris Minetti. For the free.art. And I don't even see anything past their website. For the free.art. Next. Nate Linder went away and he came back because he's been crushing it. So maybe Chris Minetti needs to just get the coffers back up and he'll be back. Because Nate Linder went away for a little while until some construction companies gave him a buzz. And he started cooking. He started moving some Google rankings up. Because that's what he'll do. He'll make you number one on Google and you will profit from digital advertising with Nate Linder. NateLinder.com. If you need somebody to help you with your digital marketing, baby, monetize your shit.
Every time I hear Nate Linder, I just think of Nice Pecker.
What was that? The ad we did for him? Yeah, that was on. What was that on? Was that on a bonus or no? It was on a regular.
It was on a regular. Nice Pecker.
Yeah. Yeah, NateLinder.com or Nate_Linder. No, it's just, he doesn't even have, he just wants you to go to the website now.
Right, to the website, yeah.
NateLinder.com. And then DisplayPros.net. These guys, if you need to make a great Antifa sign, or if you need to get a Palestine sign or an Israeli sign, I think this is a great time for business right now. DisplayPros.net. If you need any type of fucking radical sign, whatever it is, they'll make it for you, dude. You need an Antifa shield? Those guys like shields? DisplayPros.net will make it for you. They do custom trade booths, retail fixtures, promotional items, and radical armament. So hit them up at DisplayPros.net and check it out. You also get a discount, right? I think it's 10% off. You mentioned my name on your first purchase. MAInsuranceservices.com. I think Chris Minetti may have hired him for bankruptcy. If you need some insurance policies, any type, commercial, workers' comp, property, commercial property, auto, professional liability, general liability, and umbrellas. They're in St. Petersburg. Matthew Albani will take care of you. MAInsuranceservices.com. 813-260-0338. But it's fucking national. So if you need insurance, give them a call. Caprotech.com, sports betting. They use AI, machine learning to simulate game results and give you some data so you can make an educated bet. Pretty much simple. It's free. There's no reason not to check it out. You can download the app on Google or Apple. Just as easy as that. It's a perfect complement for, your online betting. And it's free. Rebels-Raiders.com. Real deal tactical gear for every day. Amazing, amazing bags. And actual body armor, which is coming soon.
No, he's got the body armor.
Got the body armor.
The bags are coming back.
He's sold out of bags.
Right.
Presently, we only got body armor. Right now, so we're only dealing with body armor. I don't know what happens when you show up to the airport with body armor, but I assume you get taken off the line. But if you're not going to the airport and you're just going to the supermarket, it's great to have some body armor on. He's got you. Whether you're going to the supermarket, this is your commercial right here. Whether you're going to the airport or the supermarket, we got you covered. We got your real deal tactical gear to fly. We also have your protective body armor for supermarket, schools, libraries, driving in your car. It's always good to be covered, no matter which way you slice it. You hit up rebels-raiders.com. Pick up your body armor now. I don't know if we got any sale on chest plates, but it's just the bags are amazing. And hopefully he has them back soon, but you can pick up some body armor. Is there anything else you can pick up right now?
Military surplus.
Military surplus.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is. and some swag. That's what he's got right now. At Rebels Raiders on Facebook and Instagram. Rebels-Raiders.com. Suds Auto Spa. John Pappas. They will travel. The bigger the job, the farther they will go. I would just fucking love for there to be one fucking rich guy in Dubai listening to this that just goes, you know what? I want this fucking guy to really detail my car. Fly him out to Dubai. And just, it'll be the funniest thing because he's got money to spend. So he just flies John Pappas out there at sudsautospa.com. Check them out. You can follow them at suds_auto_spa on Instagram. I bet you they got some sexy pictures of some fucking clean-ass cars. I'd like to see their work. We're going to check it out.
Give Verzi a boner.
Yeah, Verzi would love this shit. You can call them at 412-564-5033. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, I mean, you definitely use them, but they'll travel to you if it's wherever you are. They figure it out. They also offer storage solutions, car capsule units, featuring car capsule units. They're designed to keep your car dust-free and safe for impacts, mildew, even rodents, ceramic coatings, all that stuff. They specialize in automotive longevity services. So check them out. PCB Tech Art. Are you guys looking for business marketing swag in the form of keychains, ball markers, or ball tags? Maybe you need PCB design consultations, prototyping, or 3D printing services. Check out PCBTechArt.com. Visit the online store or send us a direct message. By us, I mean them. I got caught just reading the copy. For any consultations and custom designs, use the code Yannis10, all one word, for 10% off your order. They're also on Amazon, so check them out.
We got a spot open.
We got a lot of spots open. The more, the merrier.